Are you drowning in clutter and wondering why life feels heavier as you get older? Today, we're talking about the 6 household items you must clear out before you hit 70 if you want a simpler, happier life. Listen up, if you're approaching 70, you might be carrying around more than just memories. Over the years, we tend to hold on to things that we don't really need. These items not only take up space, but can also add stress, slow you down, and even make everyday tasks more challenging. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly which 6 items to declutter and why letting them go can bring you a fresh start. Stick with me because this might just be the key to unlocking a more relaxed and fulfilling life. For many of us, our homes are like a treasure chest, filled with keepsakes and relics from the past. But sometimes, these treasures turn into burdens. When you're nearing 70, every extra item in your home can become a liability. Not only do they clutter your space, but they also add mental clutter, making it harder to focus on the things that truly matter. Today, we're cutting through that clutter and making room for what brings you joy, freedom, and ease. I'm going to break down 6 common household items that you should consider parting with, and by the end, you'll have a clear idea of how to start the decluttering process. Let's jump into the first item: old newspapers and magazines. I know, those piles of newspapers from years past might look like a part of your home's history. Maybe they remind you of a special day or a long-ago conversation. But here's the thing, they're taking up space that you could use for things that are truly important to you. The longer you hold on to them, the more dust they collect, and soon that pile turns into a source of clutter and potential allergens. Imagine how much lighter your home could feel if you could simply toss out those outdated pages and free up room for fresh ideas and better energy. Now, think about your old electronics. You know, that bulky VCR or the clunky cell phone from a decade ago. While these gadgets might have been state-of-the-art when you first got them, chances are they're just taking up space now. They might even become a fire hazard or, at the very least, a constant reminder that it's time to move on. Modern electronics are sleek, efficient, and much easier to use than the relics from the past. By clearing out these outdated devices, you not only simplify your space, but also make room for technology that can actually help you stay connected and entertained. Next up are the outdated medications and health products that have long expired. It's not just about freeing up space on your shelves, it's about your health too. Those old bottles of pills and supplements might have been a part of your routine once upon a time, but holding on to them can lead to confusion or even accidents. When you clear these items out, you're making sure that what's left is only what you truly need. This isn't just about decluttering, it's about safety and well-being. Another category to consider is that extra furniture you no longer use. Over the years, we often accumulate pieces of furniture that once seemed necessary. A spare chair here, an extra table there. They start to fill your living space and can even create obstacles in your daily routine. When you're getting older, every piece of furniture would serve a clear purpose and be easily accessible. Removing unused or redundant items can make your home more open and inviting. It creates a space that is easier to navigate and maintain, especially as mobility becomes more of an issue. Plus, having fewer things to clean and move around can lighten the load on both your body and your mind. Let's not forget about the duplicate kitchen gadgets that have collected dust in your drawers. I'm talking about those extra can openers, outdated coffee makers, and other appliances that are seldom used. When you simplify your kitchen, you not only create more space, but also reduce the time you spend cleaning and organizing. Imagine opening your cupboard and only finding the tools you actually use. It makes cooking and meal preparation a lot less stressful and more enjoyable. A clutter-free kitchen can transform your cooking experience, making it easier to whip up meals without getting overwhelmed by too many choices. The 6th item on our list is the sentimental clutter that doesn't really serve you anymore. Over the years, we all accumulate items that are tied to memories, old letters, photographs, or small mementos that we hold on to because they remind us of good times. While these items can be precious, too much of this sentimental clutter can weigh you down. The trick is to keep a few meaningful pieces and let go of the rest. You might be surprised at how much lighter and freer you feel once you remove the excess. It's about cherishing your memories without letting them take over your space. Now, you might be thinking, I can't just throw away things that mean something to me. And you're right, you don't have to discard every piece of your past. It's about being honest with yourself and understanding that sometimes less truly is more. Holding on to items out of guilt or habit can prevent you from moving forward and making room for new experiences. Decluttering isn't about erasing your history. It's about creating an environment that supports the life you want to live. Let's dive a bit deeper into why this matters. As we age, our energy levels change, and the effort required to manage a cluttered home can become overwhelming. Every extra item is something to maintain, clean, and possibly repair. It can also be a source of stress if you're constantly reminded of things you need to fix or update. Simplifying your environment can lead to a clearer mind, less stress, and more energy to focus on the things that truly make you happy. It's about making your home a place of comfort and ease, a sanctuary where you can relax and enjoy the simpler side of life. Imagine waking up every day in a home that feels open, clean, and free of unnecessary distractions. Instead of battling through piles of old newspapers or tripping over unused furniture, you have space that invites you to breathe easy. When your surroundings are clear, it's easier to focus on what really matters, spending time with loved ones, pursuing hobbies, or simply enjoying a quiet cup of coffee without feeling overwhelmed. That's the promise of decluttering. Not just a tidier home, but a happier, more balanced life. Let's talk about some practical steps you can take right now. Start small. Pick one room, maybe the living room or your kitchen, and set a timer for 15 minutes. During that time, focus on one type of item. For example, you might start with those old newspapers and magazines. Ask yourself if each item adds any value to your life. If the answer is no, then it's time to let it go. Don't overthink it. Trust your gut. Sometimes a quick decision can lead to a big transformation over time. Another practical tip is to enlist help. Sometimes having a friend or family member with you can make the process easier and even fun. Share stories about why you're holding on to certain items and be open to their suggestions. Often, a fresh perspective can help you see what you really need versus what you're just holding on to out of habit. This can be especially useful when dealing with sentimental items. You might decide to take a few photos of items that you want to remember, then donate or dispose of the actual objects. This way, you keep the memory without the clutter. As you go through each area of your home, consider how each item makes you feel. Does it spark joy or bring back a fond memory? Or does it simply add to the pile of things you never use? This emotional connection is key to making thoughtful decisions about what to keep and what to let go. Remember, decluttering is not just about getting rid of things, it's about creating a space that reflects who you are and supports the life you want to lead. It might seem like a daunting task, especially if you've held on to these items for decades, but think about the benefits. More space, less stress, and a home that truly feels like your own. It's about taking control of your environment so that you can focus on what matters most. Plus, as you simplify, you might even rediscover passions or hobbies you had forgotten about. A clear space often leads to a clear mind, and that can spark creativity and new ideas. Let's get back to those 6 items. One more time and recap what you need to do. First, clear out those old newspapers and magazines. Next, let go of outdated electronics that no longer serve a purpose. Then remove expired medications and old health products that could be more harmful than helpful. Fourth, evaluate your extra furniture if you haven't used it in years. It's probably time to say goodbye. Fifth, simplify your kitchen by getting rid of duplicate gadgets and appliances that just take up space. And finally, tackle that sentimental clutter by keeping only the items that truly matter. By following this plan, you're not just decluttering your home, you're decluttering your life. You're making room for new experiences, better health, and more time to enjoy the moments that count. As you let go of the old, you create space for the new. And that new space can be a canvas for a happier, more fulfilling future. The process might be emotional at times, but the payoff is well worth it. You deserve a home that supports your well-being, especially as you enter a new chapter in your life. Now, I want you to think about your own home. Walk through each room and really look at the items around you. Ask yourself if each item is something you need, or if it's just something you've held on to, because it was once important. The goal here is to make your life easier and your home safer, more functional, and a true reflection of the person you are today. It's about taking small, manageable steps that add up to a big change over time. It's also important to remember that this isn't a one-time project. Decluttering is a continuous process. As you continue to simplify your space, you'll find that you become more mindful about the things you bring into your home. Every new item should earn its place by adding real value to your life. This ongoing process helps prevent clutter from building up again and keeps your environment clean and peaceful. You'll notice that as your surroundings become less chaotic, your mind will also feel less cluttered. That sense of calm and clarity is one of the biggest rewards of decluttering. Now, let's talk a little about the emotional side of letting go. It's completely normal to feel attached to items, even if they no longer serve a purpose. Memories can be powerful, and sometimes it feels like throwing something away is like erasing a piece of your past. But here's the thing, memories aren't stored in objects. They're stored in your heart and mind. By letting go of the physical clutter, you're not losing your memories. You're simply freeing yourself from the burden of excess. This can lead to a greater sense of peace and allow you to focus on what's truly important, the people and experiences that bring joy to your life. There might be times when you look around and feel overwhelmed by the amount of stuff you've accumulated. In those moments, take a deep breath and remind yourself that every small step you take makes a difference. It's not about doing everything at once. It's about gradually creating an environment that works for you. Start with one room, one shelf, or even one drawer. Celebrate the little victories along the way, because each one brings you closer to a home that feels light and free. As you continue on this journey, think about the benefits that a decluttered space can bring. Imagine not having to spend your weekends sorting through piles of old items or feeling stressed every time you walk into a cluttered room. Picture a home where everything has its place and you can find what you need without a second thought. That's the power of decluttering. It transforms not only your space but also your state of mind. You're creating an environment that encourages simplicity, clarity, and a renewed focus on the things that really matter in life. Remember, the process of decluttering isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Even if you only clear out one small area today, that's a step in the right direction. Over time, these small changes will add up, and you'll see a significant difference in your home and your overall well-being. You deserve to live in a space that brings you joy, not one that feels like a constant reminder of things you no longer need. In this journey towards a simpler life, it's also important to be kind to yourself. Decluttering can sometimes bring up unexpected emotions, especially when you come across items that hold sentimental value. It's okay to take your time and even set items aside if you're not ready to let them go. There's no rush. The goal is to create a home that feels supportive and comfortable, and that process should be as gentle as possible. Sometimes giving yourself permission to keep a few extra items is part of the process, as long as they truly serve a positive purpose in your life. Let me share a quick story. A friend of mine, Mary, spent years holding on to everything from old love letters to broken jewelry. Every item told a story, and she couldn't bear to part with them. But as she got older, Mary realized that all this stuff was weighing her down, not just physically, but emotionally too. With a bit of courage, she decided to go through her things and only keep those that made her genuinely happy. It wasn't easy, and there were many moments of hesitation. But over time, Mary's home became a place of peace and comfort. She discovered that by letting go of the excess, she was able to focus on the relationships and experiences that truly mattered. Mary's story is a reminder that decluttering isn't about losing your past. It's about making space for a brighter future. So, as you think about these 6 items, old newspapers and magazines, outdated electronics, expired medications, extra furniture, duplicate kitchen gadgets, and sentimental clutter, ask yourself if they are adding value to your life. If not, it might be time to let them go. Embrace the idea that a simpler home can lead to a simpler, happier life. Every item you remove is a step towards a space that is calm, organized, and filled with things that truly matter. Decluttering is a journey, not a destination. It's something you revisit time and again, especially as you approach new stages in your life. And as you continue this process, you might find that you're not just clearing out old items, you're making room for new habits, new routines, and even new relationships. Your home becomes a living space that adapts to your needs, a place where you can relax, be yourself, and enjoy every moment without the constant reminder of clutter. Take a moment right now and think about the areas in your home that feel the most cluttered. Visualize a space where everything has its place and where you can move freely without obstacles. That vision is within your reach. With a little effort and some tough decision-making, you can transform your living space into a sanctuary that supports your well-being and reflects the life you want to lead. By choosing to let go of what no longer serves you, you're not just cleaning up your home, you're taking control of your life. It might seem like a big change, but it all starts with small steps. Today, decide on one small area to tackle. Tomorrow, take on another. Before you know it, you'll have created an environment that's as light and free as you deserve. As we wrap up, remember that simplifying your space can be the key to simplifying your mind. The less you have to worry about, the more energy you have for the things that truly matter. Let go of the unnecessary and make space for the important. Life after 70 should be about enjoying each day without the burden of clutter holding you back.